My name is Janeen. I am the creator and founder and lead mindfulness facilitator for LuvJoy Studios. Through that, I offer photography experiences as well as yoga and wellness coaching. And I'm so excited to be here with the amazing Alisha and just share about all things.
Yay. I am truly excited to have you. This is definitely a great experience. Can you hear me okay? I want to make sure that I'm not dragging or anything. Got it. All right. So can you tell us like how you have evolved within your career? Like tell us how all of this started.
Well, to keep it a little bit condensed, I would say it started off. I just love beautiful things. I'm definitely a lover of all things beautiful and really seeing the beauty within each person around me in my community and in the world. And so once upon a long time ago, I used to model, and thankfully there's been some really great changes in the industry now. But when I was practicing that, there were just some things that I observed and heard, and I didn't feel like it was a place that encouraged people to feel beautiful about themselves and elevated that feeling of self-love and inner beauty and that type of thing. And so I didn't want to be a part of that. And I said, well, let me go on the other side of the camera and, start a different pathway of the same thing that I'm passionate about that way. And so, the core of my heart in photography and wellness coaching and yoga is really to facilitate and remind people of the love and the beauty that's within us all. And so I'm just super thankful to have that opportunity to do that in the work that I do.
Oh man, that is good. So you have to tell us a little bit about this modeling thing, like, because I never know that you were a model. So girlfriend over here on the runway. Okay. So I know that you were saying how you love that everyone can just know just how beautiful they are. So really a lot of times I'm sure that like the modeling has really helped with posing and stuff, right? So tell us a little bit about that, like how you have had to have that confidence for modeling.
Oh, I think it's Dragon. It was just Dragon. I feel like it might be me. I don't think it's you though. I'm so sorry.
No,
It's
you're
definitely
good.
Wi-Fi. Let me move back a little bit and see if that helps. You were fine before. Okay, let me see. Are you still frozen now?
Am I still frozen?
Oh, no, you're good. You were just focused.
So
Okay,
yeah,
let's try this.
just tell us a little bit briefly, just like about like the modeling and what that took for you. Like how long were you kind of just in that time in your life?
Yes, I modeled. It was definitely a brief experience that I had, but it was a really great one and a really significant. It created some significant experiences for me. So the first part of it, I actually was a semi-finalist to try out for America's Next Top Model, and I flew to LA and I made like top 100 and the whole thing. And in the midst of waiting for that, I started a career with Target, but I still continue to do modeling here and there. So I did Charleston Fashion Week, did a couple of print ads for a few different places and people, and just really enjoyed it. I had some really great experiences. Like modeling is super fun. And I think as all entrepreneurs are seeing that they have to be their own model for their brand. So I think that we're all modeling in some shape or form. But I do love it. And I love to be able to support clients in modeling for them, how they can embody their highest self. So it was a cool experience.
Oh my gosh, that is something I never ever knew. That is really like a really cool fact. Like, please, I don't know if you ever told the audience on social yet, because I haven't seen it, but I love that you did that. Like that is the bomb.com. So as you did your modeling and all of that, tell us how like the beginning phases of your just pretty much what were some of the roadblocks that you may have experienced kind of just transitioning from being a model, like in front of the camera to now being behind the camera?
Yeah, now that part I have to say was was really smooth. I think going from being in the spotlight to behind the scenes and being able to observe and facilitate and give insight and feedback, I like that. That made me feel really comfortable because you're not the center of attention. So I liked going behind the camera, and now I found myself, I really have to exercise and build those muscles to be in front of the camera because I'm so used to being behind. But I really loved it. I think what being behind the camera does though, is it increases our introspection and our awareness of ourselves and then other people. You know, I think as photographers, we're a lot more in tune with body language and how we communicate without words. What a shoulder that's propped like this versus a shoulder that's propped like that, what that means. So I love to celebrate the communication that can happen through body language, through photography, and just like what we're saying to ourselves and what we're saying to the world through the way that we move our bodies. And then of course, like just being able to see that in beautiful photos. So did that answer your question? I feel like I kind of went.
That is good. That is good. That is good. So tell me this, right? So now you are kind of just starting out with photography. When was that magic moment in your life where you was like, you know what, I'm going to stop playing around with it. I'm really going to get serious, really about, you know, taking my business to the next level, because some of our listeners may be similar to you, right? We kind of just play around in it. We were in front of the camera. Now some of the listeners may be behind the camera. So what was that moment when you was like, you know what, I am going to monetize this thing called photography?
Yes, I think it started in my mind for sure. I'm a firm believer that, like, you know, where our attention goes, energy flows. And it's so often that we will celebrate and applaud and like just give the highest of praise to the people around us, but we don't offer ourselves that same gift. And we don't celebrate ourselves in the same way that we celebrate the people that we love around us. And so I don't think it was like a, you know, lightning strike where it was immediate, but it was like gradual breadcrumbs that came and was just like, you know what, Janeen, like you're good at this, you love this. And actually something that I will reference is there is a kind of a thought process or a cultural component called Ikigai. And it's from Japan. And it's basically it's doing something that makes you live in your fullest life, and doing something that you can be celebrated for, something that benefits the world, something that you're good at, and then something that you love. And when you do, and something that you could be celebrated for, I think I said that. So celebrated for, something that you love, something that helps the world, and something that, you know, brings you joy. So being able to do those four things really supports us in living our best life. And I love being around people. I love celebrating other people. I love telling their story and making them feel, you know, loved. And photography was one silo that I could do that through. So I said, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to commit to it. And when you think about committing to something, like, you know, I'm married, me and Joe are almost married for 10 years. Like, you got to commit to it every day. You know, it's like an everyday thing. And so when you think about how you show up on social media, sending newsletters, like those business logistics that are so foundational in succeeding and accomplishment and maneuvering through obstacles, how can we show up every day in our business? And one of the easiest ways for a beginning entrepreneur or even a seasoned entrepreneur that still maybe isn't getting the traction that they want online is to just be more consistent about the way that you show up. Because we know that Target and Walmart and Starbucks and Chipotle, we're going to see commercials about them probably every day. We're going to see them in magazines. We're going to see them in like articles. Like, we're going to see them. They're going to be on TV, on radio, like wherever we go, they're going to find us. So I think taking that mindset from being in a corporate leadership role before and just threading it through my own personal practice and professional practice has been such a help in just transforming.
Right. That is so good. You hit on like so many different things that I want to really just dive deep into. So I was going through your post and I saw that you were talking about a morning routine. And a lot of times, you know, what kind of morning routine do you have? And how can our listeners develop a morning routine kind of to support the day for our life and business? So what are some of the things that you've been able to establish?
Absolutely. I currently practice, Joe, my husband and I, we do a power hour, and not everybody has an hour. So I'll kind of give you two versions where you can make it work for you and then kind of take it from there. If you do have the luxury of having an hour, I break that hour up into 15-minute increments. And so for the first 15 minutes, we exercise. So some type of mindful body movement, whether that's yoga or circuit training or Tabata or dancing intensively for 15 minutes, whatever it is that rocks your boat, do that for 15 minutes straight. We take no breaks during that 15 minutes. It's like a hardcore 15 minutes. And then after that, we meditate. I think that movement is a really great way to open the mind, body, and soul up to receive, to recenter, to ground. And then after we meditate, we journal and listen to something inspirational. So that could be an audiobook, that could be a sermon, that could be a, motivational YouTube video, like whatever it is that just really supports you in feeling good about yourself. I think everybody's motivated in different ways. Some people like the Les Brown motivation. Some people like the Tony Robbins, like just depending on who it is. Like some people like the A Rich Life pod, all of us better like the A Rich Life podcast, but whatever it is that, is going to motivate you and get you prepared for the day, just listening to that for 15 minutes every day, at least 5 days a week, I try and do, because it sets the tone for your day. And when we feed ourselves resources and information and media that makes us feel powerful and beautiful and strong, we're going to approach everything in our life with that energy. So you can, of course, turn that hour into 30 minutes or even 20 minutes and do each of those things for 5 minutes instead of 15. And you're still getting a really impactful morning routine, because it can get really busy, navigating through kids and work schedules and that kind of stuff. So I feel like almost everybody can find 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. I think everybody can say they can find 20 minutes. So 5 minutes exercise, 5 minutes meditate, 5 minutes journal, and 5 minutes listening to something powerful. Easy peasy. I promise you it'll help you make 2020 your best year yet. So that's definitely one that I would say.
That is so good. I totally love that, because a lot of times on the podcast, we definitely talk about basically similar to what you are mentioning, making sure that you work out, making sure that you set the intentions, your mindset, exercise and moving your body. So those are definitely some of the things that we always talk about. So I'm glad that you are here to reinforce that, right? So that is so good. And oh my God. Okay. So now that we know what your morning routine looks like, right? For a creative woman, just like you, some of our podcast listeners, they're married, they have children, some may have a full-time job. So how have you set time in your day to actually create content? What does your system look like when it comes to building your business and brand? And how could someone else replicate what you are doing?
Absolutely. The one thing I would say, especially because I worked a 50+ hour job for a long time while I was first beginning LuvJoy. And that schedule wasn't always daytime. Sometimes it was nighttime, sometimes it was weekends. So I didn't have that luxury of having a set schedule all the time to be able to say, well, this day I'm going to do whatever. So what I would do is find a day during the week and batch content. And this is before the word batching, I feel really got popular and became a buzzword. But literally just sitting down, and one of the best blessings that you can offer yourself, just get yourself ready week by week. If you can't make content out 1 month in advance or 2 months in advance, or even 2 weeks out in advance, at least set aside time to get 1 week ready. Just like we try and, I'm hoping, we lay out our clothes for the week or get our kids' stuff ready for the week, and just things that we can do to prepare. I feel like everybody kind of has a laundry day, and I'm a meal prepper, so meal prepping is everything. So just like you prep everything else in your life, prep your content for your business. And a way to think about it is okay, yeah, you may spend an hour or two prepping that content, but you're investing in the long term. You are calling in those clients to you. You are getting them ready. You are, preparing yourself energetically to receive what it is that you have been, desiring. So definitely the batching of content and just getting yourself first in a energetic space to create out of alignment and create out of inspiration and not out of desperation, because I think that happens a lot when we're creating content the day of or the moment of. And it's not that, oh, we had this light bulb moment and we're just so inspired, so we want to share that. If we're oh my gosh, I haven't posted in 2 days and I got to be a part of the algorithm, and this whole hectic, anxious energy that we can create inside of us. I've been there. I've done that many times. that energy, I believe, is transferred to our audience, and they're going to be able to feel that. And we want to bring them ease. We want to bring them, just comfort and all this good energy. So being able to create content from a very aligned and peaceful place, I think really sets the precedent and tone for the audience.
That is really good. I love how you said to get yourself in an energetic space, right? So I know that looks different for a lot of people. So do you have like a certain playlist that you listen to, or maybe some yoga poses that you listen to? Like for someone is like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do, right? Or is there a certain time of the day where you say that you are really, really just more focused? So what is something that you do that maybe that we could adopt that same habit?
Absolutely. So I love that question. We could literally have a whole podcast on that question alone, because like there's circadian rhythms, there's like chakra balance, like there's so many things that go into different people, and just like mind, body, energy types. Some people are really hot, like really great during the first thing in the morning. Some people are really great in the afternoon. Some people are really great in the evening. So wherever you are on that, time frame, or, energy frame, just find the time that works for you. But in that time, whatever that is, hours are good for me. I think that hours are nice and round, and they give you a lot of time to kind of get out some good intentional stuff. But I love right now on repeat is Beautiful Chorus. I think everybody should be listening to them. They are amazing. And the great thing about their music is that they are singing affirmations. So I hope that like drop that in the show notes and all the good things, because they're absolutely amazing women, and they have beautiful voices and really powerful words. And so instead of, bopping to something that maybe is a little derogatory and may actually, diminish your mindset during the day, but it has an amazing beat, don't get me wrong, being able to bop to something that really soothes your soul and elevates your energy and increases your self-belief, that's what's going to take you over the edge to navigate through some of those obstacles that may come, sometimes. So listening to some music. I'm an incense person. I've got incense burning right now. So I like to, it's basically like a date. It's kind of like a self date. So I have my music, I have my incense or candles. And I like to sit on the ground. Grounding is super important to me, feeling connected to the earth and just like that grounding energy. It helps me not feel so busy, and it calms my mind so that I'm able to hear and be inspired by, source, creation, God. Like I get that really clear, just understanding of what I'm supposed to be doing. And then I just let it flow. Something that I've also done that I really want to share, and I've done this for both school and for work and just for all the things. They talk in church a lot about praying over everything, right? Pray when you go to the grocery store, pray in church, pray before you go to bed, pray before you eat dinner, right? Pray before you write content. Like pray over the words that you're writing, pray over the things that you're saying to the people that they are meant for, that their hearts are open to receive what you're offering. And just that you write to the right people, because everybody has a different audience. And, a client who's meant for me versus a client who's meant for you, like we all have the people that we're meant to align and work with. So just praying for that alignment and that divine alignment with who we're meant to be with is, I think, really important and can make such a difference in the way that we maneuver and the faith that we have as we navigate in business and personal life.
Oh man, that was so good. Oh, that was good. Right to the right people. That was very, very good. That was good. So, okay. So we talked about batching content. We also talked about really, really expressing yourself in a creative flow and just praying, before you do things. Now, when it comes to mindset, because some people may say, well, oh my gosh, my brand doesn't look like hers. Or, a lot of times with social media, everything is based on comments, likes, shares, and, who's viewing and all of that. So for someone that may be experiencing imposter syndrome or something like that, how would you encourage someone to say, girl, talk to the right people for one, pray over it. But what else would you say to really just kind of just help someone to just really get there?
Ooh, that's a great question. The first thing that really comes to mind is really just investment. It's investing in ourselves. And that can have many different ways that you do that. I am a wholehearted advocate for counseling. I have been to therapy. I love therapy. Therapy is everything. And a lot of times when we have those disbeliefs and all of that stuff in our mind, we probably have a root cause of why we need to, like, what needs to be maneuvered through. So literally talking to somebody to get through that. I'll be totally transparent. Like, I definitely experienced postpartum depression, and I went to go see somebody because being a new mother, being a woman transitioning into motherhood, being a business owner, and, a working executive professional and a wife, and just like being a human, it's not always easy. And so to be able to have somebody who can be in your corner in an unbiased way and just support you through navigating through yourself so that then you can approach the world with love and light and joy, that is super duper duper great. And then from there, like, get a coach. If you feel like you're really good in here, but you just need steps to get from point A to point B, get a coach. I think a lot of times we wrestle with ourselves and not feeling we're doing good enough or what have you, or not showing up for ourselves. Get somebody who can support you with that. You're still supporting yourself by showing up and doing the work, because they're not going to do the work for you, but invest in yourself by putting the right people and resources around you. And I think that that's one of the biggest ways that we've come from a society where we're kind of taught that we're not doing it right unless we're doing it by ourselves. But if you look at all the successful people, they're surrounded by support. They have the accountants, they have a mindset coach, they have maybe a meditation guru or a church group, or like they have people in their corner who are providing assets to them, whether it's through wisdom or time management or what have you. So just surrounding yourself with the right people.
Oh, that is so good. That is so good. So now, because we're basically just moving right on up the ladder, right? So we making sure that we surround ourselves with the right people. So you have really done a phenomenal job in separating yourself from the average person that say, oh, I'm a brand photographer, right? So it's some of the things that you have really been able to, some people would say, well, you were probably like a multi-passionate person, right? Or a multipotentialite. So tell us, how have you been able to really just put that stamp on your photography business that makes you different from the other average person that may be doing it, so that our listeners can say, whoa, now I can look at my business from a different perspective. So tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. I think the root of that for sure is just getting to know you. Like, our mission in life is to be the fullest version of our true authentic self. And for me, that looks like praying often, meditating often, journaling often, lots of self-care, lots of time in the forest, lots of time at the beach, like being in spaces that reflect what is natural, what is authentic, because then I'm surrounding myself by the authenticity that I want to exude. Because trees can't be fake, or trees can't, act like anything else. They are just what they are. And in the world that we live in, I think we're bombarded with so much media that tells us, well, no, you should do it this way, or no, you should do it that way. But a flower doesn't seek to be another flower. It simply blooms as it is. And it's beautiful that way. And I think if we all took that type of mindset in ourselves and then in our business, like, it would just really be super amazing and transformational. So that's really it. I love all things mindfulness. I love all things yoga. I want people to be successful in business and secure the bag. And I also want them to have a beautiful photo. So being able to combine those things of who Janeen is and just allow that to be an extension of who, my business is just an extension of me.
Oh man, that is really, really good. That is really good. So let our listeners know. I know that you said that you actually have routines that you do with your husband in the morning time, right? So I know with me as a photographer and all of the many things that I do, a lot of times the business spills into the marriage, and you find yourself talking about your business more than some of the other things. So in addition to setting those boundaries, right, where spending quality time in the morning, what has been some other things to really, really just keep the marriage separate from the business?
So I honor that, but I am starting to be more open to the flow.
Okay.
Because when we think about it, like, the world isn't really separate. things may look separate. You know, the trees have roots, but those roots go into the ground. And, you know, the trees have leaves, and those leaves are connected to the air. So everything's really connected. You know, I think a business owner who's married can't really separate business and marriage. And I think that we're going to drive ourselves crazy trying to. And especially like, I know you and your husband work together sometimes, like Joe and I work together sometimes. So we're working together and we're married together. So it's like, we're going to talk about that. But what we do is when we just want to connect and connect off business platform, we make it a game. There's been a lot of studies that have shown like gamification is one of the best ways to get really great results and engagement. So like when we go to dinner, we'll be like, all right, we're going to have dinner. But like the first person to talk about work, like, oh, is the other person massage? Or like just making it something fun where, you know, both people can like laugh and then benefit from it. Like somebody celebrated. So just doing things like that keep you in that space, and just allow it to be fun and fluid, because, you know, I think every person who's married is trying to be married forever. And forever is a long time. And so to keep it fresh and spicy and fun and playful, we sometimes just have to go back to the basics of like college or high school, whenever it is that we met, and just allow that simplicity, allow that peace and connection and fun to just, you know, lead the way.
Oh man, that is really, really good. That is really good. So when you talk about like playing games, making sure that you are engaging with your family, right? You are also a mom as well. So how about it being a listener that says, well, I work a full-time job, or I'm married, or I don't have time, or I got to do the laundry, or I got to take care of the kids. So many different people come up with so many different excuses as to why they can't start their business or why they can't start. So as a mom, what kind of systems have you set in place so that you won't have any excuses of not showing up on social media? So were there some things that you've done, like maybe setting boundaries or a certain time of day, right, that you get your work done, maybe while your children are playing? So what does that mom life look for you, for all of us that are like, whoa, you know, just help us out a little bit?
I love that question. No, it's hard out there in these mama streets. It really is. There's a lot that we're navigating through, for real. The one thing that I do, I think is really important, is I talk to my kids about business. Like, they are a part of LuvJoy too. So, you know, when I'm excited about a new client or a new project or like a new launch, they can get excited about it too, because the thing is, that's quality time also. And then they can talk to me about what they're excited about, what's going on with their friends, and, you know, what are some ideas that they want to put out into the atmosphere and create within their community. So being able to take the things that, again, kind of creating more fluidity in life. So taking the things that we feel such an urge to separate, and just see what happens, you know, try and experiment. What would happen if I allowed this to flow a little bit more? And then, you know, doing things like, I do like some work when they're sleeping. I do work like either before they're awake or after they're gone to bed. And then of course, creating time, because I do think it's also important for kids to have that time of independence where they can go and color or draw or go play in the woods for a little bit in the backyard or what have you. So making the most of those times also, so that I can get done what I need to get done. But really the batching is key. If you can literally sit down for 2 hours and just make content. Because I mean, when you think about it, if you ever have worked a 9-to-5 corporate type of job, you have tasks that you have to do every day. Typically, like you have to, like, I come from the retail world, so we have to respond back to customer feedback and comments, and, you know, we have to check inventory. My inventory, the thing that fills my stockroom, my product, is my content. That's how people can come into my digital store and look around and browse and be like, I like how I feel when I'm up in here. So I'm going to go ahead and sign up for a session. So you've got to make sure that your inventory is locked and loaded. People aren't going to buy what they don't know exists. It's like impossible. You're going to have some people you'll have some people who will reach out and be like, hey, I really like your vibe. Do you do this? But that's probably going to be like 1%. So by putting ourselves out there in a way that showcases what we offer and we're consistent about it, people are going to be able to be like, you know what? She shows up every day, no matter how much likes or comments or engagement or whatever algorithm system she's on, she shows up. And people learn to trust that. And because they can trust your consistency and that they know you're going to show up, they will then trust you with engaging and investing in you. So that's something that I've definitely seen, because I mean, I don't have a huge, following. I don't even have a ton of engagement on a lot of my posts, but I have heard so many people that say, I love what you write. I love what you do. They may not have ever liked a post of mine, but they're reading it and they're following it. And so I think there's a lot of unspoken things, that we may not always be aware of, but we've got to show up regardless of if we know who's watching or not.
That is so good about showing up. And I know it really that mindset, it just goes back to like how you were saying, the mindset, the counseling, making sure that you are surrounded by those people. I mean, all of that really does, everything ties in together, right? And I know that because we talked about this like over the phone, but everything ties together. And I know you were saying that there is no way, it's really no way that you could just build a business without having a healthy family, a healthy relationship, and a healthy spiritual life. Like all of those things matter, because you want to know why? Just like how you say, pray before you post.
Exactly.
Pray before you post. So that is good. So lead us in really quick, because we're almost done. When it comes to doing yoga, right? Because a lot of people that I know personally, African American, we Black women up in here. A lot of people do not do yoga, or other people are doing like alternative workouts when it comes to moving your body. So I'll tell you this really fast. I saw a difference in my business when I started working out, because I now had the energy. I was able to lift things, going from place to place. So tell us how literally, moving your body and stuff and doing yoga has really helped you with your business. How has that changed your life?
Yes, doing yoga specifically helps me with my business, because yoga transforms me. And when we are transformed, everything that we touch, everything that we experience is transformed around us. So whether it's yoga, because, some people are like, oh, yoga's not for me. And that may be true, even though I feel like there's a yoga for everybody. Because there's so many different types of yoga, and yoga does not always just mean that you're getting on a mat and doing these bendy shapes. Yoga also means meditating or sitting with yourself. Yoga can be journaling. Yoga can be washing dishes. Like, one of my yoga practices that I do at home is when I wash dishes sometimes, I'll think about the things that I need to let go of within myself, whether it's self-doubt or limiting beliefs or, procrastinating. Like, what are things that aren't working well for yourself? And create a practice out of that when you're washing dishes, and pray for yourself. You know what? As I wash this dish, I'm letting these attributes of myself go. I'm letting them go down the drain and wash away forever to never return. And I'm having this clean plate for me to receive abundance and blessings and love and wealth and health and all these great things. So yoga is literally life. But being able to have that mind, body, spirit practice is just like there's not even words to say how much it infiltrates every part of life. So, and definitely, of course, business. So yes, yoga is everything. I do love doing physical asana too. And I think with working out, when we face things that are difficult in our workout, but you're able to push through, that allows us to parallel that overcoming in life. If you know that you can do 5 more reps of push-ups, even though you're really over this at this point, you're sweating, dripping, you're tired, but you push through anyway, we're building those cognitive, portals in our brain to be able to do that in life too, because life isn't always going to be, rainbows and sunshine, but how do we still enjoy it when it's raining outside? Find those rain boots and an umbrella and put on some music and have a great time.
I know that's right. That is so true. So with someone that is just beginning, what would you recommend for someone that is just starting a practice or just starting a routine? Like, how could someone really just get into that space and be consistent with it?
I would say start small. I feel like, when we think about if you were giving advice to a girlfriend and she just met somebody and they're about to start dating, taking it slow is one of the things that I think we always say to each other. And the thing is, when you take it slow, you can build trust within yourself to make the right decisions with that person or that experience. And you also allow yourself to see how that person or experience affects you. Because let's say you go and do darn P90X. P90X is a very intense workout, right? And you go hard, you do these 30-minute workouts for like a week, and then you get injured. And it's like, because you took it way too fast, too hard, too much, too soon. So when we do small amounts of something, whether in business or workout or wellness or whatever it is, taking our time and just allowing it to be very gradual is very helpful for maintaining something that's going to have longevity in our lifetime.
That is so good. That is so good. So that brings us to the end. What are some of the things that you could leave to our listeners? Like, if you could just encourage them wherever they are on their journey, what are some of the things that you would tell them to do, like on a consistent basis?
I would just say to be love. And it's funny, I'm wearing that shirt today. But when we literally exist as love, we take things less personal, because we know that when somebody doesn't give love out, it's not about us. They're probably missing love. So how can we love them more? That doesn't always mean that we need to talk to them. It may that we love them from afar and we send them a prayer or a blessing, but just really being love. If we are love to ourselves, we are love to our families, love to our community, love to our business, everything is elevated. And I don't think there's anybody out here that's like, no, I don't want any more of that love stuff. Like, everybody wants love. So to just be love, to embody it in mind, body, and spirit, to be love, to experience life in love and exist in love, I think is really the biggest kind of thing I can put it all together. And love comes in so many forms. Like, discipline is a form of self-love. Show up for yourself because you deserve it. Your future self is waiting on you to show yourself love through discipline, through consistency, through, facing challenges and approaching new endeavors and showing up in your fullest. So being love in every realm that you can be is my biggest takeaway for you guys. And I'm just so excited for all of you guys to have amazing, blissful 2022. It's going to be a year of blessings and miracles and abundance. So get ready.
I am here for it. I am here for it. So thank you so much for just giving us so much knowledge today. Like, I've learned so much. So in closing, tell everyone where they could find you. If you have any programs or anything that are going on, how can everyone stay connected to you and all of that? So just let us know.
Absolutely. The easiest way to find me is definitely my website. So LuvJoyStudios.com. That's LuvJoyStudios.com, LuvJoy Studios. And then, of course, I'm LuvJoy Studios on Instagram and Facebook. We do actually have an occurring soon coming event. Next Thursday, we'll be starting the opportunity, and it is an experience for women of color, curated for women of color, that is open to allies. And it's really going to be this amazing experience that just brings self-love and compassion and community. We'll be doing meditation. We'll be doing a little bit of yoga, asana, which is the movement and the flow. We'll have community discussion and so much more. And just, it's an 8-week program. I'm so excited to just offer this to the community. And there are also many scholarships available. So if that is something that interests you, please reach out. You can contact me again at LuvJoyStudios.com on Instagram or Facebook.
Yay! I am so excited. You are doing some amazing things in the world. So I totally love you. Like, you are just everything to me. Like, for real. I love seeing you all the time. Like, you're just amazing. So thank you so much again. I appreciate everything, and we will talk soon.
Yay! It's such a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. All righty. I'm literally going to give you like a quick call really fast once we get off this. All right. Thank you.
All right.